Hey everyone, this is Doughnut Master and welcome to my new top 5 list. Today we are going to be looking at the top 5 worst video games ever created. You thought E.T. for the Atari 2600 was bad? You thought Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was bad? Well, guess what? These games are not even close to the games in my list. So let's get into this. Number 5. Superman 64. Superman 64 is considered as one of the worst video games of all time. It is a very repetitive game, especially when you have to pass through the rings between every single level. You start by getting through rings, and then you have a very boring level. And then, guess what? You get through rings. And then you pass through another boring level. And the level itself, you don't even know what to do because the the information is passes too fast. And more than that, the controls are horrible, so it's almost impossible to play the game, especially when passing through rings. It's really hard with the horrible controls. The game itself is bad also. So if you see Superman 64 in a store or something, selling it for 2 cents, it's not even worth buying it. Number 4. Big Rigs Over-the-Road Racing. Big Rigs is a game that is basically unfinished, but the developers decided to release it anyway. You can pass through buildings, go faster when climbing a hill than going on normal roads, and the computer opponent doesn't even work. And of course, you can go faster in reverse than forward. Actually, you can go as fast as you want, even faster than the speed of sound. There's one map that doesn't work, and the options, well, if you do anything in the options, the game will crash. Well, that was a very unfinished game. Number 3. Desert Bus. Desert Bus is actually one of the 6 minigames from Penn and Teller's Smoke and Mirrors for the Sega CD. The game was never released because the publishers went out of business. The game was simple. Drive 8 hours from Tucson to Las Vegas. And I'm not joking. You must drive 8 hours in real time. You can't go faster than 45 miles per hour. And you can't pause the game. So yeah. So what happens if you arrive to Las Vegas? Well, you get 1 point. 1 point. And how do you get 2 points, you ask? Well, drive all the way back to Tucson. Okay. That's, yeah. They were actually going to give a prize to the person that could score the most points. But since the game was never released, well, that never happened. However, the game wasn't all that bad. There is a charity program called Desert Bus for Hope that have been going since 2007. So yeah, Well, that's a very creative way for charity. Number 2, Hong Kong 97 for the Super Famicom. This is a very complicated one. Let's start with the story. The game was made in 1995 and talks about the transfer of sovereignty. Oh my god, I don't know how you pronounce that. Over Hong Kong in 1997. For those that don't know what it is, it's basically when the United Kingdom give Hong Kong back to China. For some reason, the people that made Hong Kong 97 did not like China one bit. So after the transfer of sovereignty, well, this is in the game. It's not the real story. This is the game's story. So, in the game, after the transfer, the Chinese population started immigrating to Hong Kong and increased the crime rate. So the Hong Kong government hired a guy called Chin, a relative to Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee looks a lot like Jackie Chan here. So, he hired a guy called Chin to kill all 1.2 billion people in China. Well, that's racist, you know. Even to me. Yes, I am Chinese, for those that don't know. So, what's the gameplay, you ask? Well, nothing special. Just a 2D shooter. Well, and one shot and you're dead. You shoot people and eventually the final boss will appear. Wait, that's Deng Xiaoping's head. Oh, you're not serious, are you? Well, that's the game. When you defeat Deng Xiaoping, his head disappears and you continue shooting. And if you die, well, the game will restart instantly. Well, now know why the game is in this list. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention something. The audio. Here's a sample. Yep, it's a loop of the first two lines of I love Beijing Tiananmen over and over and over again. At this point, you are probably wondering how did it sell? Well, the fact that nobody even wanted to sell the game in stores because it was so bad makes the game extremely rare. It didn't even make its way to North America or Europe. You can't even find an image of a physical copy of the game on the internet. Number 1, Crazy Bus for the Sega Genesis. Crazy Bus is an unofficial game made for the Genesis in 2004 in Venezuela. The game is simple. It's a 2D driving game with no obstacles, no challenge, no nothing. Select a bus and drive it with the D-pad. And if you want to reach the highest score possible, just go in reverse and you will get it instantly. Not to mention the title screen music. So yes, this was my top 5. If you spotted some errors I might have made, tell me in the comments, because this is my first video with a script, so I might have made some errors and stuff. Well, there you go. And before ending this video, I want to start something new, something that I call it the statistics, of the day. So at the end of each video, I will give you the statistics of the day. I will give you statistics from a country, and today's country will be Belarus. Well, there you have it, and I will leave you with Belarus country, Belarus statistics. I know I don't have a script for the last part. Right, so there you have it. I'll leave you with the statistics, and I'll see you next time.